We're Wednesday night, and I mean, our phone bank is full. We've been seeing this throughout the state, each one of our 48 phone centers. We're making tens of thousands of calls a night. We have tens of thousands of volunteers ready to go to make these calls on any given night, and they are. We've been extremely impressed with the turnout we've been getting, and it is just unbelievable. I mean, if you look right now, these people have been calling for several hours, they've been calling for several hours more, aggregate that throughout the whole state, and it's really making a big difference.
So this center has been up and running since when?
We've been up for 3 or 4 months now at this location.
Roughly speaking, how many calls do you think you've made? How many voters do you think you've contacted, and how many times have you contacted them?
I've contacted tens of thousands of voters. How many times? It's tough to say. We're trying to go through our universe as many times as possible, obviously, before election day, to touch these people as much as possible. People are coming into these call centers, it's a fun place to come and really make a difference in this election.
Now, when people are contacted repeatedly, are they contacted with repetitions of the same message?
Sometimes the same message, sometimes it's a different message. It kind of depends on what we want to contact them on.
And that can depend on the circumstances, political circumstances at the moment. Yeah.
And also timing of the campaign where we are in the calendar.
Right, because you have a sequence of messages you want to get out through this program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's just very effective. And we found the person-to-person contact is the most effective way to get out a lot of these messages to make sure that they
So we got all these lines. So this is a T1 system.
The T1 line comes from the phone room, and it goes to the router, which is that black box down there. So that's your T1 line. And those things over there, the links these deals, that's a switch. And each switch can take 26 Ethernet cords into that. So those Ethernet cords go to the phone, and then a longer cord goes from that switch into the other room to another switch that has 26 more Ethernet.
This is the switch for the cord here.
Right there. Switch is right over here. Here's the second switch.
It goes into the router.
Yeah, so it goes from router to switch, or switch to switch, and it gets still the Ethernet capabilities, and then it goes to the phone.
So what kind of phones are these? They're
voice over internet protocol.
Right.
So basically what it is we have a server that all these phone numbers, phones work off of. So they dial 1916 for every number that goes out, and that sends a signal to the main server and bounces off the internet and makes the call. And it's no much slower than a cell phone number. So it's the same thing when you dial a cell phone.
Sounds a lot faster than my Skype system.
But I mean, what it does allow us to do, which is very important, is it allows us in real time to check how many calls we're making at a given time, when people are picking up the phone, how long those calls are being made for, so we can actually measure every single thing that's happening.
So that way you know that your callers are actually completing the calls and not kidding you. Like a candidate I once worked with who used to make, I give him a fundraising list.
We trust our volunteers.
Right.
However, it also allows us to allocate resources where we need to allocate resources and make all sorts of decisions on the ground in a real-time way. So it's very efficient use of our resources.
Right.
It gives us the ability.
Scott, I'm sorry. Arnold has not been to this center yet?
Not yet.
But he's been to, how many centers has he been to so far?
He's been to about 3 or 4 so far, and we've seen when he goes there, people love it. I mean, he loves it.
Really? I'm surprised to hear that.
It's shocking. But it also, I mean, what it does to our volunteers motivates them and gets them to go out there and bring their friends in and everything. So it's a real shot in the arm when the governor stops by.
What does he do when he comes to one of these?
He helps them make calls. He goes around, shakes their hand, thanks them for all their hard work. And, I mean, same thing when other downstate that's come, because this supports the entire downtown.
Right. So I assume that when Arnold does this, he jumps on the phone from time to time.
He does, and he has the best call rate of anybody.
Really?
People are very excited when he calls.
I'm very surprised
They're ready
to hear
to
that.
sign up.
And he probably teases some of the volunteers, and this is how you do it.
Yeah,
you know?
he
Exactly.
is excellent with
Yeah,
volunteers.
yeah.
They really, he's great with them.
Here, you wanna?
This bubble sheet is now going to show up with results on your screen. Is that right?
The N represents no answer, X is disconnected number, and then down there it actually takes a picture of the individual bubble sheet.
So this goes into our database in real time. So that
At the end of the night, I go in there and fix all of the corrections. At the end of each shift, I fix all the corrections. Like when there's multiple, that just means they marked in 2 fields. So I fix it all, and then I import it into our database, and then it imports it, and then it gives it a number of how many you actually called, so you can actually track without having to count 1, 2, 3. This counts it for you.
Now, what is this barcode type symbol down at the bottom of the screen?
The
here?
barcode reads the number, and the number correlates to the actual voter, their phone number, and their address.
And what generates the barcode symbol?
well, it's on the bubble sheet.
Oh, I see. It's on the bubble sheet itself. I see. Okay. So each sheet has a separate barcode.
Exactly.
So that's how we can we'll make
Got
some.
it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, this is like 2 generations beyond me, guys. So. So you have all this inputted into your laptop, and then what do you do with it?
Then this goes into our database, so the next time that we call these people, we know all this information.
Now, is the database here on your laptop? Or does
Yeah,
go
it
to
is.
Okay, so you
See,
keep...
so you can see it takes a picture of the actual deal.
Right.
And once I correct it and I get all the mistakes out, I actually save it to an Excel spreadsheet. And then I go ahead and go to something called Campaign Contact Manager. And this is our master database.
Now, is this a master database? Where is this database housed?
It's housed in Burbank, at the CRP.
Okay.
Local network cables. So you go to reports. Close. And we have a bubble sheet import wizard.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. We appreciate you guys coming in here and doing this.
Yes.